Okay, we're streaming on YouTube, so let me get back to Alright, so let's start. Okay, we're gonna start sharing the screen, and we'll bring in school. We're gonna do chapter 5 and 6 today, okay? 我们今天呢就播放章节5跟6。OK， 今天呢我们播放章节5跟6 ，OK。Chapter 5 we talk about contracts， OK。章节5我们就是讲这个协议 ，OK， 这是买卖的协议，其他的协议都会提到 ，OK， 这是关于房产这方面的 ，OK， 这个协议。Okay, so it's all about the paperwork, right? The contract, okay? Without, the paperwork or contract, right? You cannot move forward in a transaction, right? You could, way back, they don't have, pens and paper. You just do it by mouth, right? You just orally say, this is what I'm selling you, this is how much I'm getting, and then that's done, right? Gentleman's agreement, and you shook hands on it. 以前的话就是没有纸张的话 ，right？ 嘴巴说的算数了 ，OK？ 这是怎么去交易一个房子 ，OK？ 我有房子，你有钱 ，OK？ 我们交换就买卖下来了 ，OK？ 那转让这个产权给你 ，OK？ 所以呢，讲话不算数嘛，哎，所以就是有纸张了之后呢，就有写下来了 ，OK。OK，contracts in general，OK， 我们就会讲到 OK 协议 OK 这个来源 OK。So what is basically a contract? Okay, a contract, right? Is an agreement to do, right, or not to do a certain act or service. Okay, so we have many type of contracts. Okay, so let me see if they go through it in details. Okay, yes they do. Okay, so let me briefly describe of what contracts are. Right. 协议有很多种类的 OK。第一种就是要表达出来 OK。The first one is you have to express it out OK。Basically, right, an agreement made either orally or in writing, but you have to express it out, okay? Listing, okay, 帮人家卖房子 right? Deposit receipt, right? 这个收据 leases, right? 租约 okay? Implied contract is not used in real estate, okay? Big X, okay? 这种协议呢，我们在房产不用的 ，OK？ 这个 implied contract 为什么呢？就是每个人的 implication，每个人的看法不一样 ，OK？ 所以呢， 敲不定下来的 ，OK，an agreement is made by act or conduct rather than words, right？ 它的表情啊等等啊 ，right？ 就你看出来他想做什么 ，OK？ 所以这个很难去敲定下来进去，因为他需要什么东西 ，OK？Bilateral contract, right？ 双方的 contract，OK？A promise made by one party in exchange for promise of another， OK？ 两方同意去做一件事，这是 bilateral contract。Unilateral contract is a promise to act made only by one party， 一方去操作事情 ，OK？And a valid contract 这是有效的 contract，OK？A contract that is binding and enforceable in a court of law，OK？ 这个有效的就是法庭上面 ，OK？ 这个法官可以把握住这个协议来判断 ，OK？Voidable contract， 可以取消的 contract，OK？Valid in its face, but one or more parties may reject it，OK？ 就是它是正规的有效的协议，但是一方呢就可以取消的 ，OK？ 但是你取消不取消 ，OK？ 官司就是等着在后面 ，OK？Void was void contract, no contract，OK？No void contract 就是无效的 contract， 就是没有协议 ，OK？Therefore no rights are enforceable， 就是这个在法庭判断不了的 ，OK？Unenforceable contract。And the contract cannot be proved or sued upon， 就是没有效的，在法庭上面，法官这个不是 contract， 这个不是协议 ，OK？ 它就是没有这个法律这个行为在里面 ，OK？ 所以判断不了 ，OK？So all of these are different nuances of contract, okay? You have to be aware of, okay? So let's go over in a little bit more detail. 我们内容再讲清楚一些 okay? Express contract, okay? It could be expressed in words, right? Either oral or written, okay? And I'm repeating this, okay? There was a summary there before, okay? Listings, okay? 卖房的 okay? Purchase agreement 买房的 okay? Leases 租约 okay? 都有表达出来写下来的 okay? Implied contract, okay? It is when an agreement is made by act and conduct implication rather than words, okay? 不需要说出来的你点个头 right 指 right 做什么就是了 right 但是很多时候呢人家表达错误了 right 就是不进去的这个协议 OK 所以这个比较麻烦 OK 所以我们房产不用的 OK Bilateral contract like I say is made when one party makes a promise in exchange for promise of another, OK， 两方有同意，一方说我要做什么什么 ，OK， 另外一方我付你钱，然后呢，两方一方做了，另外一方也付钱了，这样子 ，OK。Unilateral contract is made when one party makes a promise or an act of another, OK， 只有一方去做事 ，OK， 然后呢。另外一方就接受就 OK 了 ，OK。Classification of contracts. So again, let's repeat this, okay? A valid contract, okay, is when a contract is binding and enforceable, okay? 这是有效的协议 ，OK？ 它有法律性的，加上了法庭可以判断。Voidable contract can be affirmed or rejected at the option of a party. Okay, 这个也是有效的，但是呢，一方、两方都可以说，哎，我们不要取消 ，OK， 可以取消的。Void, no contract exists. If the contract is void, there's no contract. OK， 如果它无效的协议 ，OK， 就是没有协议了。OK，therefore no rights are enforceable. OK， 所以在法庭上面也判断不了。OK，an enforceable valid contract that for some reason cannot be enforced in court. OK， 这个也是正规的协议，但是也是在法庭上面判断不了，为什么呢？它可能里面的条件是模糊，right？他可能说几天，几个月，right？什么是几个月嘛？right？ 2个月还是3个月还是9个月，right？ 所以这种协议是很难去处理，OK？ 法官不会处理的，OK？ Okay, life of a contract. 协议的寿命 ，OK， there are 3 phases， 有3段时间段 ，OK， negotiation， OK， 讨价还价 ，Number 2, not yet performed in the middle, right? And then number 3, completion, OK， 终于完成了 ，OK。So to detail a little bit, okay, phase 1. Okay, it's negotiation, right? Creation of a contract. Buyer and seller discuss possibility of a contract. Is there a mutual interest? An offer, or perhaps several offers are made. Okay， 所以讨价还价的时候 ，OK， 不单指你是一方 ，OK， 这个买主 ，OK， 他有很多买主 ，OK， 他跟他们谈判 ，OK， 所以呢要把这个协议敲定之后呢，他就选那个买主，然后跟他做生意 ，OK。Phase 2 is performance， OK， 就是又操作了 ，right？ 你有协议之后，你有两方有操作啊 ，right？Time between accepted deposit receipt and closing of escrow。OK， 这个时间段呢，就是他收你的定金之后，然后到完成了交房的时候 ，OK。And then phase 3, right? Completed performance. The contract has been executed, meaning everything has been delivered, right? You got the house, right? You got the keys, and the seller got the money, OK？ 这个呢，这是完成，这个买主拿到他的钥匙，那个房子，然后呢，卖主呢就有他的钱了，在他手上。So let's look at some of the vocabularies that is used here, okay? Executory 这个单词 okay, is what? In the middle, right, of the contract, okay? Or is executing, okay? A legal agreement, the provision of which have not yet been completely fulfilled, okay? 还没全部完成，中途操作 ，okay? 这个叫 executory. Executed, okay? 完成 ，OK。A contract that has either been discharged or performed, OK。什么意思呢？就是你可以操作完，还是停掉的，还是叫 executed， 已经这个操作过了 ，OK。Execute is to sign the contract, OK。你这个单词 execute 就是去签那个协议 ，OK。So when you say execute a contract, it means sign a contract, OK。That's what it means. Execution is the process of performing the contract, right? The act of performing or carrying out the contract is called execution. 这个也是去操作 ，okay? So execution, okay, is in the executory phase. Okay, so these two basically is similar. Okay. Execution, right, is the noun saying that this period you're executing, you're doing the contract. Executory is the adjective, specifying that this contract is in the middle of completion. OK， 这个是中途操作 ，right？ 两个单词都一样的意思 ，OK， 但是它的一个是动词 ，OK， 一个呢就是一个 noun，OK， 一个 description，OK， 一个 一个单词，这个 meaning，OK，execution。Okay. Negotiation, right? We'll expand this a little bit more, okay? What is the first phase, negotiation, okay? 讨价还价, right? Occurs before the contract has been struck. Struck meaning what? Executed, right? Executed. Or signed, right? You struck on a contract, right? That means, both parties signed, okay? 就是两方都签字了 ，OK， 这个是意思 ，OK， 这是没有签字之前，这个叫 negotiation， 讨价还价 ，OK，the parties discuss the possibility of a contract，right， 两方、三方、四方等等 ，OK， 所有人在这个协议里面 ，right， 都讨论 ，right， 怎么去做这个协议 ，an offer is made，right， I'll pay $500,000 for your house。Right, this is my offer. Okay, 这是我给你多少钱买你的房子 ？Okay, 50万买你的房子。Possible additional offers and counter offer. Right, 你讨价回来回去 ，OK， 这个屋主张说 ，right， 50万不够，55万 ，OK， 你就说51万 ，right， 这样子 ，right。So they go back and forth in terms of the price, right? The seller will say, 550,000, right? You say 510, right? They come back with 540, right? And come back 520, right? Then you meet in the middle, right? 530 or 525. An offer is accepted by all party, okay? 多方所有的方在里面 ，OK， 都同意了，这个时候是指接受了 ，OK。So a contract is created. Okay, after all signatory is there, okay, everybody signed. Okay, so that's when you have a contract. Okay, you go to the second phase, right? 你去第二步去开始操作了 ，okay. So not yet performed, right? So contract is in midstream and is a executory contract. Okay, is in the execution phase. Okay, it's being executed, in which the provision have yet to be completely performed. 还没完成嘛 ，right？ 中途去操作 ，not yet performed. So you have negotiation. 2, you have signed contract, right? And then you do your execution. During this phase. And then 3rd, you finish, right? Complete. Completed. Okay? So 这个是第二 ，right？ 中途 ，right？ 你有这个协议之后，你就开始去操作了 ，right？ And then of course completion, right? Occurs after the contract has been completed and extends until statute of limitation runs out. Statute of limitation is typically 3 years. Okay. So why do they have this in there? Just in case they have any, misunderstanding, right? So, oh, you didn't tell me this house leaked before, now it's moldy, right? Okay. 这个有3年的纠纷这个时间段 ，OK， 比如说这个房子漏过水，他没有告诉你 ，OK， 然后里面的东西开始发霉 ，right？ 1年之后他发现了 ，OK， 所以3年的时间 ，OK， 可以追求的 ，OK。Execute a contract has been discharged or performed. Okay, so 你卖了房子之后，来不以为 卖掉了 ，right？ 还有3年，等待3年 ，okay？ You have to add 3 years. Then after everything is okay, hunky dory, then everything is completed, okay? But typically after you complete it, it seems completed if nothing wrong, right? Okay, unless something creeps up, okay, within that 3-year period. All right, terms used in the contract, again, they're gonna, repeat, okay? So you can see execute to sign a contract, okay? 这个单词 execute 就是去签那个协议 ，okay? Execution is the act of performing or carrying out a contract. And to explain that is executory, okay? An executed contract is one that has either been discharged or performed, okay? 这个操作完的协议什么意思？就完成了，很美的完成。另外的话就是人家取消了，取消也是完成， okay？ 就是这个意思。OK， 我们看看 elements of a contract， OK， 协议里面的内容 ，OK。Number one， right？You have the capacity， right？ 要有能力去操作啊 ，right？Number two， right？Mutual consent， OK， 两方要同意啊 ，right？ 所有的方里面都有同意 ，OK。And number three， right？ 第三个 legality， 它是合法的协议 ，OK， 不可以做不合法的东西。Number four, consideration， right？ 就是他付多少钱 ，right？ 这个交易是怎么去交易的 ，OK？And number five, right? Writing is required, okay? Sometimes, right? But statute of frauds, right? And real estate, you need to be in writing, okay? 所以呢，这个有房产的方面的话，有写下来的 ，OK。Alright, so in a contract, in a contract, it is imperative to remember that the following are not essential elements of a valid contract. OK， 你要记住，协议里面这个不是基本的东西。OK，money is not. OK，it doesn't have to be money, right? It could be I'm doing you a favor, right? Or you're not gonna do something to me, or vice versa, right? It doesn't have to do with money, OK？ 这个跟钱没有关，不是基本的协议在里面 ，OK？ 你可以不交换钱，right？ 其他东西你可以交换，right？Writing, right? It doesn't have to be written, okay? Except for real estate, okay? 只有房产你需要 writing, okay? It's what we call oral, right? 嘴巴说的也算数啊 ，right？ 这个 gentleman's agreement, right? You handshake on it, right? Okay. You get handshake, right? On it, okay? Performance, right? 这个也不是一定要做到啊 ，right？ 这个and how, right? And to what degree, right? As long as it's done, or sometimes it's not even done, right? This is not the requirement of a contract, okay? Because one party may not perform, right? And then you have lawsuit afterwards, right? So, but that's what the contract say. This is what you need to do, but they don't do it, right? 这个要操作 right？ 但是一方他有很多情况嘛，他操作不了，还是他没有能力去操作等等 ，OK？ 所以呢，这个不是一个基本的东西在里面 ，OK？ 因为他做不了的话，你就会告他了 ，OK？OK，capacity，OK？ We talk about the first thing, A, okay? Capacity. Do you have the resources, right, or the capacity to execute a contract? Okay, refer to all persons legally permitted to sign the contract, right? 18 years plus, okay, 18岁以上，right？ 他成人了嘛 ，right？ 他可以负担这个法律行为 ，right？ 去签那个协议。Everyone is capable except okay minors 不够年龄的 ，OK， 小于18岁。Okay, anyone under the age of 18 except emancipated minors. OK， 有一些他独立嘛，他宣布独立也 OK，OK， 但是很多都是18岁以下都不可以签协议的。Incompetent， 脑子有问题的 ，OK， 老人痴呆啊 ，right， 小孩脑子不清啊 ，right， 还是大人的脑子 ，OK。他受伤了等等，哎，也不知道他签什么东西的 ，OK， 就是这个他签完之后是刚才我签什么东西啊？哎，他就是没有记忆力，这种人呢就不可以去签协议的 ，OK。Person judged to be of unsound mind， right？ 脑子有问题 ，OK。Convicts。Right， 囚犯 ，right， person serving terms of imprisonment， right， 他在里面坐监狱的话，没有能力去签协议的 ，OK。Civil rights are lost during the course of jail term，OK， 他在监狱里面签不了协议 ，OK， 什么都是法庭管住的 ，OK。May convert property with approval of the California authority，OK， 这个他需要操作东西的话，都有通过法庭 ，OK， 还是他管着管监狱里面这个部门 ，OK。Mutual consent， right? The genuine offer by one party and a genuine acceptance by another party, okay? So they both agree, right, to do the things that is said in a contract. Okay, 两方又同意 ，OK， 所有人在里面的协议有同意 ，OK。The offer, right, expression of willingness to enter into a contract. The offerer is the person, typically the buyer, who has made an offer, right? Offeree is the person or seller to whom the offer has been made. Okay. Offerer 这是买主 ，OK， 他表达出来，哎，我要买你的房子 ，OK， 他的名称叫 offerer，OK， 第一次，哎，这个屋主呢，他接受这个 offer， 他看到这个 offer 了，他是 offeree，OK。And then later on, when they turn around, right, the seller will counter, right? 他返回一个价钱的话 right? 他变为 offerer。OK， 这个 buyer 呢，他接受对方的还价的时候，他就变 offeree， 这反来反去的 ，OK， 这个单词 ，OK。So the offerer will become the offeree and vice versa, okay? So they flip back and forth until they stopped, right? And then whoever offer last is the offerer. Whoever sees the offer last or accept the offer is the offeree. Okay, contractual intent, right? This special word, right, is what judge usually look for. Okay, contractual intent. What does it mean when you go into contract? What is your intent to do, right? What you try to accomplish, right? You try to sell the house, you try to buy the house, right? What is your intent, right? So it exists when the offerer communicates an offer to the offeree with the intention of forming a binding contract. Okay? So the content, right? The intent is very important, right? The judge always look at that, right? What was the purpose of you doing the contract anyway? Okay, is it to just get the initial deposit and don't sell your house, right? No, right? Bottom line, you want to sell your house, right? Okay, contractual intent does not exist with social invitation or advertisement. Okay, so if I send you an invitation to my birthday party, right? You don't have to come. Okay, it's just an invitation. Okay, it's not a contract. You must come, right? Advertisement's the same thing, right? I advertise, right? I send you a postcard, right? I'm selling my car, right? You don't have to buy it, right? You just say, oh, he's selling his car. I may be interested, right? Let's take a look, right? But after looking, you don't like it, then you don't buy, right? So it's not a contract for advertisement, right? 所以他们是说，right，contractual intent， right，你敲作这个协议这个条件，OK，不在请帖啊，这个打广告，OK，你打广告，人家不需要去买你的东西嘛，right？你请人家去吃饭，right？人家没时间，他都不来了，right？还是他有事，right？所以呢，这两种，OK，请帖跟打广告，OK，不是协议，OK。Terms, okay. I could say versus money, right? The dollar amount, okay. Terms is very, very important, okay. Sometimes more so than money, okay. 有时候条件比这个钱更重要，okay. So, but the terms you specify must be definite and certain, okay. Don't use these words, right? Some, right? Few, okay, etc. Right? Something that is similar to that, okay, not definite, okay. 要敲定 right 时间段 right 钱多少钱等等 OK， 你不可以说给我一些钱不对 OK， 他的这个法官呢，什么是一些钱嘛？1块钱还是100万 right？ Few 几个 right？ 几个嘛？2个、4个、5个、9个、100个 right？ Few right？ 所以呢，你要敲定这些数字在里面 OK， 时间段的事 right？ Sometimes you could say is it a calendar day right or is it a business day right？ 这是一个普通的一例的疫情吗？这个一天还是一个工作天 OK， 那不一样 OK， 所以你有敲定是多少天 OK， 这个时间段。A real estate contract must contain obviously the price right and how you're gonna do the loan right, the finance term right, and then an accurate description of the property, what the heck you selling me right, OK， 所以最起码 OK 买卖房子在房产买卖这个协议里面 right， 你有这个价位嘛 right， OK， 也有你怎么去付这个钱 right， 做这个贷款 right， 你现金买了还是你贷款买的 OK，an accurate description of the property right， 你是什么房楼嘛 right， 你给我是3房2浴的还是5房4浴的等等 OK， 还是 condo 还是 mobile home right， 这个有知道。Okay, illusory contract. What does that mean? Okay, illusory, okay, contract. 模糊的协议 okay， 看不清楚的协议 one in which the terms are not definite and certain, therefore the contract is unenforceable. Okay， 这个法庭 把关不住 ，OK， 因为你协议不清楚嘛，right， 这个叫 illusory contract，okay, it's an illusion, right? Nothing is clear, it's blurry, right? So that's what that means. Acceptance, okay, 接受 okay, is the consent to the terms by the offeree. Offeree is the one who's getting the offer, right? So that, okay, I agree. So that would be the offeree's acceptance. Silence cannot be interpreted as acceptance. 如果你不说话的话，不表示你接受 okay, of an offer, because the acceptance must be communicated. Okay, 要表达出来 okay, 你接受 okay, acceptance must be in the manner specified in the offer. Okay, 在协议里面就是会有这个什么去接受，哎，接受的话，你就给我定金啊，right？我开了 escrow， 你有付定金在里面啊，right？ Any counter offer automatically constitute rejection of the original offer and a proposal of a new offer. Okay， 还价的时候，right？ 旧的就变为废掉了 ，OK， 新的价位就上去了 ，OK， 所以呢，你讨价还价就是两方 ，OK， 就转来转去，这是 paperwork，OK。Alright, termination of an offer, right？ 怎么去结束一个 offer，OK？ Upon occurrence of any of these things，OK？ 有很多方式 ，OK？ Number one, lapse of time. It expired. Okay, expired. Okay, I only give you 3 days to think about it, right? After 3 days, my offer is no. Okay, 我只有3天，给你3天的时间，还是给你2天，来去考虑 ，right？ 你不要的话，我们去买另外的房子 ，OK？ Communication of revocation. Okay, offer can be terminated by offerer at any time before offeree has communicated acceptance. 我这个什么意思呢？就是你没有接受之前，我可以把它 cancel。OK， 我不给了 ，OK， 我不买了 ，OK， 你没有回答我之前，我给你3天去考虑 ，right？ 3天之前你还没考虑的话 ，right？我可以把这个 offer 抽回来 ，OK， 所以这个 communication of revocation，OK， 我收回来了 ，OK， 不买你的房子了 ，OK，failure of offeree to fulfill condition，OK， all specified condition must be completed in the prescribed manner，right？ 你没有付定金的话，就完成不了了 ，right？ 所以呢。这个是第一步 ，right？ 有付定金 ，OK。First step is to pay the earnest deposit money, right? The initial deposit. If you don't pay that, then there's no contract, okay? Rejection, right? Offeree rejects or makes a counter offer, right? 他不接受，他回你一个价钱 ，OK？ 这个叫 rejection，OK？ 就不接受 ，OK？ Death or insanity, right? 一方死了。Okay, of either party or broker voice the offer. Okay, or they become unsound mind, right? The mind is went south, right? Something happened to them, right? They're in an accident, they're in a coma, right? They're not awake, right? Or they die, right? Either way, right? It voids the contract. Okay. 这个协议就无效了，因为它是一个那个主根在里面嘛，哎，它是一方在里面。Okay? Illegality of purpose, right？ 不合法的东西。Okay？ 你有这个协议 ，OK， 是买赌本的 ，OK， 这个不是有法的协议 ，OK， 所以呢无效的 ，OK。If any condition or purpose of the contract deemed illegal, right? The contract is void. No good. Okay. You try to sell me drugs, you try to sell me firearms illegally, right? Or, I hire you to kill someone, right? That's all illegal, right? So there's no contract. So that's why gangsters, right? Um, they don't have written contracts. They just say it orally, right? Even orally, either they do, they don't, right? They end up killing each other, right? 所以呢，黑社会里面的话，right，他们没有什么协议，签不签协议，right？他嘴巴说做到的做到，做不到就打起来了，OK？OK，counter offer automatically terminates all previous offer，right？你还这个价钱，以前的 offer 就无效了，OK？这是看看这个条件，你改什么条件，OK？所有以前的你改的条件就不算数了，OK？有新的条件出来。So all of these, OK， 所有的东西 ，OK， 都可以停掉这个 offer，OK。Genuine consent, OK， 这是表达真诚的同意 ，OK。Both offer and acceptance must be genuine and real, OK。真诚的去接受，right， 是真的，OK。This does not occur, right, in the cases of what? Let's go from the bottom up, OK. Undue influence, OK. 人家旁边的人会影响你。It exists when a person in a position of authority, like parents, teachers, brokers, right, uses that authority to an unfair advantage, right? Okay, so 家长啊，right， 有背景的人啊，等等，right， 他希望你这样去做，right， 就是他会是这样子来影响你，OK， 这是 undue influence，OK，menace，OK，a threat to commit duress，OK， 他就是宣布来威胁你，OK，如果你不做的话，我怎么样，OK？If you don't sign, right, I'll do this and that to you. Okay, by words, right? It's a threat, right? Threat. Okay. So under those circumstances, right, you're under duress, right? 压力嘛，有人压住你，right? The unlawful detention of a person or his property. Okay. Duress is serious, right? They make house arrest, right? They don't let you go until you sign, or they point a gun to your head and say sign, right? Then you sign, right? Or any stressful decision that holds you, to do it, right? To sign that contract. 这个都是威胁行为了 ，OK， 他就说 ，OK， 他就把你抓住，就是你有签必须有签，你不签我就把你打死，OK， 所以呢，他会威胁你 ，OK， 还是他抓你另外一个人质 ，right， 就是你不签的话，我把他杀死 ，OK， 这个是 duress，very very bad，OK， 很坏的行为了 ，OK。And then we have mutual mistakes, okay? 有些错误 right? Exists when both parties are mistaken as a matter of the agreement, okay? 两方都有错误 okay? And then of course bottom line is that fraud, okay? 诈骗行为 okay? Occurs when a person misrepresents a material fact knowing that it is not true, okay? 他说这个房子 is in the number one school district, right? Number one school, but in reality, it's not. Okay, it's probably number 3, number 2, right? Maybe that was last year, right? So this is fraud, and they could say they only change part of the piping to copper, right? They say, oh, the whole house is copper piping, right? That's fraud, right? That's not telling the truth, right? Only part of it is copper piping, okay? 他会说这个他换这管子是铜管子，right？他就说，我们这个房子是群换了铜管子， OK？ 其实没有，这个是诈骗行为， OK？ So all of these, okay, the last three actions, right? Undue influence, maintenance, and duress, okay? Those are voidable contract, right? Afterwards, okay? You could explain to the judge that I was under duress, okay? And you have witnesses, right? Or whatever, okay? To prove that you're under duress. Legality, okay? 合不合法, okay? The requirement that a contract be legal, okay? In both formation and operation, okay? 你这个协议是合法的 ，OK？ 你你操作的行为 ，right？ 操作的方式也是合法的 ，OK？ Both consideration and its objective must also be lawful, OK？ 你这个钱交易这个钱，你的目标也是有合法的，你不可以说，你帮我买的房子，我就给你赌本 ，OK？ 来，赌本是不合法的嘛 ，right？ 所以呢，你交易不了，在里面，这并为没有协议了 ，OK？ So if we exchange a house with cocaine, right? The cocaine part, the consideration part is illegal, so that's void, okay? Alright, consideration, right? Usually anything of value, dollars, right? Given by one party to another, right? Such as, okay, it could be a benefit, okay? Law suffer or agree to be suffered, okay? Agreement not to bring a legal suit or to bring a suit, okay? Any of things that is of benefit or value, okay? Or agreement not to do something or to do something, okay? 不单止 ，right？ 你去交易的时候 ，OK？ 有些不是用钱来交易的 ，OK？ 有没有好处 ，right？ 有没有这个给人家负担一些任务等等 ，right？ 要不要告 ，right？ 不告你 ，OK？ 你做这个我都不告你 ，OK？ 都可以的 ，OK？Payment of money is not needed as adequate consideration, OK？ 不需要只有钱就可以解决这个问题 ，OK？ 有时候不是钱的问题 ，OK？ Sometimes it's not all about money, okay? Proper writing, okay? Now, personal property contract may either written or oral, but statute of fraud require that most real estate contract be in writing to be enforceable. So, in real estate, okay, better write it down, okay, to get things done. So, everything is in black and white, okay? 黑字白字写出来 ，OK？ 所以多方在里面 ，OK？ 都同意了 ，OK？ 很清楚的 ，OK？ Parole evidence rule, what does that mean? This verbiage, this phrase, okay? That means whatever's in the document, okay? It's in the document, okay? No other prior agreement or afterwards, right? This is the contract, okay? Assumes a written agreement to be complete and final expression of the rights of the duties of all parties to contract, okay? 这个单词就是说，这个协议里面就是这样子了 ，OK？ 不是以前我们有协议，还是后面我们改变什么东西 ，OK？ 协议就是协议，我们有做到 ，OK？ Parole evidence rule. prohibits the introduction of any prior agreement, right？ 以前你同意过啊 ，right？ 这个不是 ，right？ 你没有写下来的话都没有。As evidence in a court action, okay? Except the court will allow such evidence only if the contract is incomplete, right？ 它没有100%, right？ 它只有提到80%, right？ 没有完成 ，or is ambiguous, right？ 模糊 ，okay？ Or may not be enforceable because of mistake or fraud, right？ 里面呢它有错误的东西，还是它有诈骗行为在里面 ，OK？ 都可以改 ，OK？ Okay, so this is statute of fraud. Okay, so this is a code back in England, right? 1677. Okay, they have the statute of fraud for most contract. Okay, so agreement, for example, agreement you have to execute it within 1 year and 1 day, right? Things like that. Okay, 这是以前英国这边法律已经下来了 ，right？ 1677年的时候 ，right？ 就说如果你有协议的话，1年之内你要操作完啊 ，right？ 等等 ，OK？ 所以它里面有很多这种内容了，就是把关注这些协议的 ，OK？ Okay, so let's talk about performance, discharge, and breach of contract. Alright, 我们说一说，怎么去操作，怎么去取消，如果有犯规的话，怎么去处理 ？Okay. So performance of a contract, right? 你怎么去操作 ？The successful completion of a contractual duty, usually resulting in a performance release from any past or future liability. OK， 所以你完成 ，OK， 很好了，做好了 ，OK， 卖掉你的房子了，金主商卖掉他的新房子 ，OK， 也没有收尾 ，OK， 等等 ，OK。Assignment, OK， 这是转让给别人的 ，OK， the transfer of a person's right in contract to another party， 他转让他的协议给另外的人，第三者。转让者呢，这叫 assigner，OK，assigner is the one who assigns to another person the contract, okay, has original contract, but transfer the rights to the assignee, okay, and they always be the secondary liability if the assignee does not perform, okay. 所以呢，转让者的话 ，right， 他得把他的协议的权利转给这个第三者 ，OK， 然后第三者他有做到啊 ，right， 他做不到的话，还是这个转让者有负担这个责任的。Okay, novation is what? Is a substitution by agreement of a new contract for old one. Okay, 这是改一个新的协议，叫 novation. Okay, so counter offer, right, is a novation of contract. Okay, so this is equate to, right, counter offer. Okay, 表示是新的 offer 了 ，OK。Novation often involved with the leases, right? Commercial leases, right? The old lease, the new store owner don't like, right? They say, "Oh, landlord, give me a new lease." So the new lease is called a novation. Okay, novation of lease. OK， 如果这个老板买下来这个生意，他不喜欢这个租约的话，他叫房东帮我改 ，OK， 我们重签那个新的协议。这个新的协议叫 novation，OK， 更新的 ，OK， 叫 novation。Alright, discharge of a contract， 怎么去取消一个协议呢 occurs when a contract has been terminated in one of the following ways. OK， 很多情况可以停掉还是完成这个协议。OK， you could discharge a contract by full performance, right？ 完全做完了 ，right？ If done, OK， substantial performance, okay, below par, right? Not too standard, right? Okay, you do a half-ass job, right? Okay， 这个呢就是做一半不做一半 ，right？ 这个没有标准的来做 ，right？ 低于标准的这叫 substantial performance，OK？partial performance，OK， 做一半，做的一些没有全部完成 ，OK？or impossibility performance，OK， 没办法去做，没办法去完成 ，OK， 就可以停掉这个 contract。Or you could agree, right? Both parties, all the parties agree. Let's stop it, okay? We're not going anywhere, okay? Let's agree, stop everything, okay? Operation of law, right? If it's not legal, right? You come up with a builder whose plan is not past the inspection, right? Stop, no more building, right? You have to correct everything. Okay. Acceptance of a breach, right? 一方接受另外一方的犯规 ，OK， 还是 breach someone breached the contract, right？ 有一方犯规都可以停掉了 ，OK。比如说他没有做白蚂蚁 ，OK， 他不付，哎，这个钱他不做了 ，OK， 而且他改变主意了，他不卖房子了 ，OK。OK, statute of limitation, right？ 它有时间段的 ，OK。这个时间段，关于法律上面的话，也有它把关住了 ，OK。大部分呢3年之内 ，right？ 它还可以纠纷 ，right？ within 1 year for action for libel, slander, injury or death, OK， 1年之内，你可以告人家 ，right？ 弄坏你的名誉啊 ，right？ 弄你受伤啊，还是他有汽车碰到人他死亡啊等等 ，OK， 都是1年之内你要处理 ，OK。有些是2年，有些是3年等等 ，OK 下去。So these are time limitation. Okay, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. 10 years is for judgment, okay? An action upon a judgment of any court of the United States or of any state within the United States must be brought within 10 years. Okay? 这是法律上面的话，这是10年 ，OK？ 这是判断 ，OK？有很多也是关于房产的话，这是5年 ，OK， 有一些是3年 ，OK， 所以这个你们研究一下 ，OK。Remedies for breach of a contract， OK， 怎么去解决这个问题呢？如果这个协议是破坏的，还是人家犯规了 ，OK？ many options, right? 1, A, acceptance， 你是接受了 ，OK？ 他就是无能 ，OK？ 做不了这个事情 ，OK？ 你就停掉了 ，OK？ 你找另外的人帮你去做事。Unilateral rescission， 一方取消了 ，OK？ One party, right? They withdraw, right? They cancel the contract. Okay? Unilateral rescission is one party cancel the contract. Action for dollar damages, right? They sue, right? ，OK， 他们告另外一方，你又操作啊，你又赔偿我，OK，possible action for specific performance，OK， 我不要你的钱，你就又做什么呢？卖房子给我，OK，so it's not about money, okay? This is like doing the actual performance, like selling me the house, okay? I don't want your money, right? I want the house. That's performance, right? You have to sell the house. All right, acceptance of a bridge, right? Let's go up a little bit detail, right? A discharge of a contract may be simply the acceptance of a bridge, right? 就接受对方的犯规。The wrong party does not pursue legal action. OK， 这个被弄糟的，right 的方 ，OK， 他不告对方，这算了，我们就 move on， 不用浪费时间了。Unilateral rescission, right? The wrong party discloses the wrong and restores everything of value to the offending party. Okay, the legal grounds for rescissions are, right? 有什么可以？为什么它可以取消了？诈骗行为 ，right? Fraud, mistake, duress, menace, undue influence, and faulty considerations. Okay, any of these things, okay? Minors or incompetents may generally rescind the contract. Okay， 不够年龄了，脑子有问题的人们，right？ 他们可以取消他们的协议。Action for dollar damages, right? Okay, occurs when a court suit for breach requests payment of a fixed amount of money as compensation. Okay， 他就是要钱，你赔偿我 ，OK， 你耽误我的时间在市场上面 ，OK， 你又赔我这个钱 ，OK。Liquidated damage of agreement sets in advance a specified amount of money as compensation. There is a breach, right? Typically, they take 3%, right? Up to 3% max. Okay, to be reasonable. I mean, they only 30 days, 45 days, right? They didn't buy your house, right? So for the time, consume, right? You get paid that 3% as compensation. Okay. Anything more than that is not reasonable. Okay. 如果你买不到他的房子 ，right？ 没能力去买的话，人家没收你这个3% 的定金 ，OK？ 这是有时间段的嘛 ，right？ 除非你真的协议里面 ，right？ 你就发现这个房子有问题，你不想买了 ，OK？ 还是你贷款 ，right？ 21天之内做不出来，你就放弃等等 ，OK？ 所以这个里面的内容条件就很严重的 ，OK？ So 3% typically is the maximum compensation that the seller press onto the buyer, right? If they don't buy the home, okay? But there's other ways to wiggle out of it because they have time period, right? Inspection of the house, doing the loan, right? Appraising, the value of it. Your house is not worth the $1 million, right? I'm putting in, so I don't buy it, right? They have the right not to move on, right? If it doesn't meet the expectation. Okay, specific performance, right? The party causing the breach is through the court action forced to perform the terms of the contract. Okay, so they want something done, right? Performance. Court will only consider this option if dollar damages cannot provide adequate remedy. OK， 如果他没有办法用钱来代替的话，他就由他去做事了。OK， a contract must be shown to be just and reasonable. OK， you cannot say, hey, sell me that house for $100,000, right, versus $1 million, right? Because the contract in error is missing a zero, right? So it's not just and reasonable, right? The judge will say it's worth $1 million, right? It's just someone forgot to put in the zero. Okay. Contract must have been based on adequate consideration. Okay. 这是合理的价位 ，right？ 这是 market price. Okay. It cannot be ridiculous price, right? Sell me your house for $1, right? 所以它是用市面价钱来做个判断。Okay. Okay, digital real estate forms and contracts. Okay, nowadays, you don't have like triplicates. Okay, that you need to sign, right? Everything is digital, electronic. Okay, you could e-sign even. Okay, for signatures, and most of the file format that we do is PDF formats. Okay, so you email, right? You print it out, you sign it, you scan it, you email back, right? Or you just do the e-sign. Okay, 这个电子的邮件，right？ 纸张等等，这是用那个 PDF 这个档案 ，OK？ 你 email 过去，人家打印出来，签完字，扫描回来 email 给你 ，OK？ 还是你用这个电子签字的功能 ，OK？ 所以这个现在越来越方便 ，OK？ 但是有一些东西呢，cannot be done digitally, right? Like notary, right? Notary. Okay, it still has to be, someone have to witness you that you are that person signing it, and you have to sign in ink, and also register with the notary with your thumbprint, right? Okay, so notarize, you cannot go around with it yet, right? Digital real estate forms and contracts. Okay. Okay, so today most real estate form available to be filled online using a computer or mobile device, right? Computer generated form save time. Okay, and then you have templates, right? So it's a lot easier. Okay. 所以你以前用纸张的话就浪费时间了 ，OK？ 这个电子这个电子版 ，OK？ 很快的 ，OK？ 你填上去，然后呢，对方的 email 等等，你就 email 给他去签字就好了 ，OK？ 很省的时间了 ，OK？ Here the residential purchase agreement， 一个我们买卖房子的协议 ，OK？ The offer and acceptance. So the California purchase agreement and joint escrow instruction, right? It's about 10 pages long, OK？ 大概是10页在里面这个协议买卖房子 ，OK？ So it's an offer and deposit to purchase specific property on certain term and condition. 它里面已经所有的条件已经规划好了 ，OK？ Spells out commission to be paid to the broker， 加上佣金的部分 ，OK？ When using pre-printed form, the handwritten part have control over the printed parts, and all correction must be initialed by both parties, OK？ 这种打印出来的东西，一个你手写上去的话就有效的 ，OK？ 但是两方又剪线在旁边 ，OK？ 姓名，我们这个条件改了 ，OK？ 两方同意 OK 是这样子来操作。Paper school versus digital school, right? Your client should dictate the method by which you fill out and complete the purchase agreement, okay? Some old school, they still deal with faxes and such, right? They don't do email, then it's tough, right? You have to go back to old school, paper only, okay? So all contract needs to be in writing or digital form to be enforceable, okay? 所有的协议有写下来，还是你用电子版就有效的 ，OK？ The filled-in contract form can be emailed to your client's smartphone or computer and save time in the process. Okay? You don't have to drive over there, right? You don't have to mail it to them. Just email. They get it instantaneously, and then it saves a lot of time and gas. Okay? 可以省很多时间跟这个汽油了 ，OK？ 不用开车了。So a form looks something like this, okay? Residential purchase agreement. Okay, so it has the buyer's name, right? Okay, the address. Okay, and of course the price. Okay, how many days it's gonna close, right? The initial deposit. Okay, what we call the EMD. Okay, EMD stands for Earnest Money Deposit. 这是 deposit. Okay, 这个是初期定金 Okay, so this is 1% to 3%. Okay, and then the first loan, right? 第一贷款 right? And then the balance of the down payment, and then this is the total price. And then the initial, right? The buyer initial, the seller initial. Okay. 所以呢，这个是贷款的额度 ，right？ 然后他首付的 balance，OK？、加上这个 EMD， 宣布他的首付 ，OK？ 然后这个是总数，总数就是这个 ，OK？ 然后他们减签在上面 ，OK？ 然后最后一页它的签字 ，OK？ Alright, the deposit, OK？ 这个是定金 ，OK？ The deposit collected as consideration from a prospective buyer on behalf of the seller for the purchase agreement contract. Okay. So basically, the deposit is part of the contract. Okay. If you don't have the deposit, then there's no contract. Right? 你这个定金是协议一部分的吧 ？OK， 如果你不放那个协议，这个定金进去的话，就没有协议了 ，OK？ So covenants are promises between two parties to a contract, right? You have contingency, conditions, and subject tos, right? 其他的条件在里面 ，right？ 有条件。来做白蚂蚁啊，来检查房子啊，来做贷款啊，来估价啊，来所有的东西都在里面。Contingency. So typically for home inspection you have 17 days. Okay, for appraisal also 17 days, and for loan you have 21 days. Okay, 所以呢，你检查房子的话，这17天 ，OK， 估价17天，来你做 loan。来批准的 loan 这21天 ，OK， 它有时间段的。So some people they try to shorten this, okay, to make it faster, make sure that they don't drag it out, okay. 有时候它会改变这个时间段 ，OK， 通常都是把它缩短了 ，OK。Alright, the purchase agreement addendum. Okay, 这是这个协议的 ，OK。So it's a form used as addendum to either the residential agreement or any other form. OK， 这个 addendum 就是改了 ，OK， 改协议这个表格 ，OK， 有很多种类的 ，OK， 你个 backup offer，right， seller to remain in possession，right， 这个屋主又多待几天在里面 ，right， 房客 tenant to remain in possession，right， 我们不赶那个房客走，因为是投资房 ，OK， 还想他住的在里面 ，OK，junior assume financing，OK， 第二贷款 ，OK，short pay，right， 这是银行又接受这个短卖物，哎，court confirmation 这个是审判的房子等等 ，OK，errors and omission insurance，OK，typically our company charge $150 per case per party, okay, and if you were to pay this yourself, right, it costs anything from $3,500 per year. Okay, so most people they don't have like 20 plus cases, right? 20 plus. Then they just pay the company, right, $150 per case per party. If you represent seller and the buyer, right, you have 150 times 2, $300. Okay, but if your volume production is high, right, then you could afford to pay the $3,500 and save yourself some money, okay, but not much, okay. 所以呢，我们这个 errors and omissions insurance 这个保险 ，OK， 为了你写错东西啊，还是你忘了东西 ，OK， 如果你自己付的话，一年是3500块的 ，OK， 你大概可以盖住20个交易 ，OK， 如果不付这么多钱的话，你每一单就付公司150块一个 case， 代表一方 ，OK， 如果你代表两方的话是300块 ，OK。很多 agent 都没有20个以上的 ，OK， 你有的话就自己去付，我会省一点钱。OK， counter offer form is only one page. Okay. Hello. 你好。请问是谁？我是 Monica。Monica，OK。OK， 你等我一下，请坐。Okay, so let me finish this, and then we'll take a break, okay? So, let's see. Okay, 这个是讨债还债的表格了 ，okay? So it is used instead of completing an entire new purchase agreement. So you don't have to redo the offer, right? You just want that one page, right? One page counter offer is made. Okay, you just change the purchase price or the term. Okay, the offeree becomes the offerer. Okay, and the contract negotiation involves several counter offers. Okay, typically it's 2 to 3. Okay, 你讨债还债大概是2到3次吧。Okay. Okay, inspection advisory for buyers. Okay, 所以买主的话，他要提醒他要检查房子。Okay, as a professionals, right? Real estate agents have a duty to advise buyers to exercise reasonable care to protect themselves, right? So we recommend that they do a home inspection report, and if they don't do it, they're acting against your advice. Okay, so it's to cover our bases. Okay, 我们告诉买主 ，OK， 最好你去检查房子，你知道房子有什么问题，再安心去买下来 ，OK。如果他不检查的话，是他们的事了 ，OK。Seller agent require disclosure。OK， 有些东西我们就宣布给这个买主的 ，OK。 这个表格就比较多了 ，OK， 这个训布表 ，OK， 这是训布我们简单的检查，right， 然后呢，我们代表是谁 ，OK，confirmation of agency relationship or the database disclosure on sex offenders，right， 有一些犯性罪的人们这个单子也要宣布给他 ，OK， 然后呢，如果你代表超过一个买主还是卖主的话，也要宣布 ，OK， 然后你到底代表是谁 ，OK，who you actually representing， OK，and then also if it is old house, right? You have to give them an owner's guide to earthquake safety, right? 如果他这个老房子的话，你要给他地震这个说明书，哎，怎么回事等等，然后罕签的这个油漆也要宣布 ，OK？ If they use lead paint, you have to also disclose that too, okay? Or any contamination, drug contamination， 如果有这个房子已经有犯过毒的等等 ，OK， 也要宣布出来。Smoke detector compliance and water heater，right， 这是热水炉然后这个这个切那个烟的 ，OK， 火焰的这个系统有宣布出去 ，OK，purchase options，OK， 这是买这个 option，OK， 是怎么回事呢 ？OK， 他可以先租后买 ，OK， 给他一个权利去做 ，right？Optioner is usually the seller，OK， 卖主的话 ，OK， 他就是 optioner，OK，buyer and the renter is the optionee，OK，potential buyer who purchase the sole purpose to buy or lease，OK，所以他有权利先住后卖 ，OK， 这个房子。OK， 我们完成这个章子5了 ，OK， 所以呢我们 take a break，OK，let me stop share and go back to here. So we clear that and we'll break for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll be back 10:45. Okay, we'll break till 10:45. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mother.
可以用一下你洗手间吗？在外面还是？哦。开车太远了，堵车。在外面。洗手间，好，谢谢。 contract 然后第10个
对对对对。
那我先去打什么再回来哈。好，谢谢。
Okay, we are back. Sorry about the long delay. So we actually took a 20-minute break. Okay, so let's change this. In chapter 6. Okay, chapter 6 is we'll talk about landlord and tenants. Okay. 章子6的话，我们讲房东跟房客。Okay, so after we do the contract, right? There's also leases, right? For contract, right? So we talk about landlord and tenant, right? This particular topic. 所以呢，我们刚章子5的话讲这个协议 ，right？ 我们这个房客跟租客 ，right？ 也有协议的，所以我们就继续讲下去。他们关系是什么东西等等 ，OK？ Okay, so let's take a careful look, okay? So, what are the relationships? Okay, 他们有什么关系了 okay? The relationship is created when the owner, right, gives the possession and use of his or her property to another for rent or other considerations. Okay, 屋主给对方 right 他的房子 OK 他住啊 right 收租 OK 还是呢其他的交换 OK Landlord OK is the owner of the property being rented or leased. It's also called the lessor. Okay. Notice the O in here. Okay. And the O there. And the O here. Okay. They all match up. Okay. So they talk about landlord, owner, or lessor. It's all the same, OK？ 所以呢，房东名称叫 landlord， 它有个 o 在里面 ，owner 它是屋主，也是有个 o 在里面 ，OK？ 它另外一个单词叫 lessor， 就是租房子出去这个人士们 ，OK？ 这是 lessor，OK？ 都有 o 在里面，所以你记住 landlord 这是 o，OK？ So remember that, right? Landlord, owner, and lessor is the same person. Now tenant, okay, is the person, right, renting or leasing the property, also called lessee. Okay, so you look at the E in here, and then you look at the E's in here. Okay, at the end, right? There's an E in here, but don't look at that. Okay, look for the O. Okay, there's no O's in here anywhere, right? There's no O's. Okay. 住客的话，它名称叫 tenant，OK， 另外的名称叫lessee，OK， so you have the E, right, and the E，OK， 不是看这个 E，OK， 看后面的 ，OK， 所以呢you know tenant 没有 O 在里面 ，OK， so this is E。Alright, so that's how you keep it clear, okay? So on the test, right, they wouldn't say landlord, they wouldn't say owner, they would say lessor, okay? And on the test, they wouldn't say tenant, they would call by another name, lessee, okay? 考试的时候，他可能叫房东不是叫 landlord 还是 owner, right? 他叫 lessor. Okay? 房客的话，他不叫 tenant, 他叫lessee, okay? 所以这个你要注意 ，OK？ 你这些名称要记住。Let me see how long this is. Okay, it's a short chapter, okay, so. Okay, so a lease, a contract, right? We just talked about contract before, right? For a set time, typically 1 year or longer. Okay, this is a lease. A rental agreement is different, right? So it's agreement between the tenant and landlord to possess and use property in renewable period of time, usually from month to month. Okay, 普通的租约的话 ，right， 它是一个协议 ，OK， 大概基本上是1年的 ，OK， 长期的1年 ，OK， 普通的租约的话 ，OK， 这是每一个月一个月延期的 ，OK， 这个叫 rental agreement，OK。Leasehold estate, okay, less than freehold. Okay, 这个名称 ，OK， 这种房楼 ，OK， 这是小于 freehold 这个权利 ，right？ So they don't have all the rights as a full owner do, right？ 所以房客没有全部的产权这个优惠 ，right？ So let's talk about it, okay? We call that the leasehold, okay? Not freehold, okay? Versus freehold, okay? Okay, freehold is what the landlord has, okay? Leasehold is what the tenant have, okay? An exclusive right to occupy and use a property on a temporary basis, okay? 它暂时性 ，okay？ 可以有权利去住的这个房子，去用这个房子。So after that period, that temporary period, right? The owner has reversionary interest. Okay, 这个 房子就恢复到屋主的手里了 ，OK， 这个叫 reversionary interest， which means he or she regained possession at the end of the leasehold period， OK， 他租完出去，他收房子都收回来了 ，OK。Type of leasehold estate， OK， 它有很多种类的 ，OK。This one estate for years， OK。The word years is kind of confusing, okay, and then they have an exam question on that, okay. Estate from period to period, okay. We're talking about from on a continuous basis, right? You could do it daily, right? Weekly, monthly, or yearly, okay? 这是重复的一段时间 ，OK， 每一天、每一个礼拜 ，OK， 每一个月、每一年 ，OK。A stay for years. Years is what? A period of time. OK， 是一段时间 ，period of time. OK. Okay. It could be 2 hours. Okay. It could be 3 weeks. Okay. It could be 6 days. Okay. Or it could be 5 months. Okay. Or it could be 2 years. Okay. All this 2 hours, 3 weeks, 6 days, 5 months, 2 years is a period of time. Okay. 一段时间 OK， 不管你是2个钟头、3个月、3个礼拜、6天、5个月还是2年，都是一段时间。所以这个 years, right? This terminology years in here is very confusing. It's not only years, okay? It's any period of time. Any period of time. So on the test, right, they will ask you the following is estate for years, right? 2 hours, 3 weeks, 6 days, and every month, right? So every month is not the answer, right? It's not estate for year, so it's estate from period to period. 所以他可以问你这个问题，就是所有全部上面都是 estate for years， OK， 2个钟头、3个礼拜、6天，还是每一个月 ，OK， 每一个月不是 ，OK， 就是这个答案 ，OK。And then we have estate at will, okay, meaning that is expired, okay. There is no contract, okay, no lease. Okay, estate suffering is, you have a lease and it's expired. Okay. 这是过期了 ，OK， 到期已经过了，他还住的在里面 ，OK， 这个叫 estate at sufferance。estate at will 是它是没有协议 ，OK， 不同的概念 ，OK， 这个有协议，但是它已经到期了 ，OK， 他还住的在里面，这个的基本上没有协议 ，OK。Minimum requirement of a lease。最少基本的租约的协议是什么呢 ？OK， you look at this acronym LAND land 地皮 ，OK 这个单词 L is for what? Length or duration of the lease, right? The time 时间段 ，OK。Amount is for what? Dollar, right? How much? Names of the party, right? Okay. It includes the pet's name, okay? The dog's name, the cat's name, baby, kids, right? All the names in the occupancy, okay? Description of the property, okay? What type of house are you renting, right? These are the 4 things that needs to be on the contract. Okay, any lease in effect for more than 1 year from the day of signing must be in writing. OK， 如果你超过1年的租约的话，必须要写下来的。OK， lessor must sign. Who is the lessor? Landlord, right? The owner. Right? Lessor 是屋主 ，OK， 房东 ，OK， 他必须要签字 ，OK， 签字 ，OK。The lessee, who's the lessee? The renter, right? The tenant need not sign, though it is advisable, right? If the lease has been delivered and accepted, OK。租客不需要签字，但是最好他签了，因为他的协议嘛，就写下来。为什么不能签？他搬进去就接受了 ，OK。他的动作搬进去就是接受这个 lease, OK. So why don't they need to sign if they cannot sign, right? Once they move in, right? They occupy the premise. That means they have accepted the contract. But it's advisable that they sign, obviously, right? Have them sign, okay? So when they move in, right? That's when they execute the contract already, okay? But have them sign before they move in, okay? So you have it in writing. Okay, 最好的话，他没有搬进去之前，他签字，然后之后你让他搬进去 ，okay? Think of land, okay? Length of time, amount of rent, names of the parties, and description, okay? 时间段，多少房租 ，OK？ 这个名单跟什么是房屋，住什么房屋 ，OK？ Rights and application of the parties, right？ 两方都有他们的责任 ，OK？ 权利跟责任。Duration of the lease, OK？ 这种租约是多长时间呢 ？Right？ Agricultural lands cannot be leased more than 51 years. 农地的话 ，right？ 不可能超过51年 ，OK？ 你可以延期，但是 initial term cannot be more than 51 years. Property situated in city or town is limited to 99 years. 城市这种房楼的话 ，right？ 就99年。Mineral, oil, gas leases cannot exceed 99 years. OK， 这个油田啊、瓦斯啊、矿啊，也是99年租出去。OK。Minors and incompetents possess property only if court has approved. OK， 小龄年的 OK， 脑子不清醒的 OK， 他必须要法庭同意 OK， 有这个同意就可以签这个合约 OK。Okay, amount of the rent. Okay. Typically, the length is 1 year, 2 years, right? Okay. So let's just talk about the maximum here. Okay. 基本上这个时间段都是1年、2年了。OK. Okay, amount of rent 多少这个租金 Okay, rent the amount of money that is paid for the use of the property 这是租金了。Contract rent is what's on a contract. Okay, the payment designated in the lease contract. Okay, economic rent is what? Market rent, right? What your other landlord charge, right? Or what's the going rent for that neighborhood. The amount of rent a property might be expected to yield if it were available for lease in the current market. Okay, current market. 现在的市场 OK， 如果你租出去的话，人家愿意付你多少钱 OK。Rents are prorated in escrow. 如果你买卖房子、投资房的话 ，right， 这个也是分配的 ，right， 如果你3号啊，或者22号啊 ，right， 它有算，哎，这个交易公司又算出来 ，OK， 到底新的房东拿多少钱这个月的租金 ，OK。So they prorate it according to the date of transaction. Okay. Security deposits. Okay, 这个定金 must be refundable on residential units. Okay, 住宅的必须要可以退回的。Okay. Notice they did not say about commercial, right? Commercial depends on the lease, right? What they say about the security deposit. Okay. It may not return to the buyer. Okay. I mean the renter. Okay. 商业的租金的话，租约的话 ，right， 它可能这个定金会没收你的 ，OK。但是住宅的话，它必须要退给你 ，OK。Maximum deposit legally allowed for the first month's rent plus, OK。他收你第一个月的租金加上定金多少了 ？2 months rent for unfurnished apartment， 没有家具的 ，OK， 2个月的租金 ，OK， 大部分都是1个月了 ，OK。3 months for furnished apartment， 有家具的话 ，right， 3个月。So deposit for residential leases in California must be refunded in full within 21 days, right, of the tenant vacating the premise. Let's say they vacate today, okay? Today is the first day, right? Because they're gone, right? Unless there is damage to the property or require cleaning. Okay, 你可以扣下来，就是有修理的东西加上清洁的东西。OK， 它有恢复原装给你的。OK， 如果它不清洁的话，你可以 charge 它这个费用。Cleaning fee, okay, it used to be $250, okay, now it's $350, and in larger homes they even charge $500. Okay, so between these two, okay, 清洁费的话 ，right， 你可以 charge 350到500块，看看房子多大了 ，OK， 然后修理的东西 ，right， if you have any repair the damage, holes in the wall, right, you know, etc. Okay, that they did not take care of the property for you. Okay, unless they really mess up the paint, right? You have to repaint, and part of that is, you know, get paid for. Okay, assignment and subleasing provision. 你可以转让，还是你做二房东都可以的。Okay? Assignment 转让 the transfer of the entire lease from one tenant to another party. Okay, 你可以转让给第三者。Sublease, okay, 这是做二房东 is to transfer less than the entire lease by the tenant to another party. Okay, 你是分租了 ，OK， 你可以租一个房子出去，还是你租大部分的房子出去 ，OK。A sandwich lease, right? 三文治这个租约 is a leasehold interest in the property which lies between the primary ownership interest and the operating tenancy interest. Okay, 你做二房东，这个叫 sandwich lease. Holder is both a tenant and a landlord in the same property. Okay, 你是一个房客，但是你做二房东，可以的，这个叫 sandwich lease. Liability, injuries, and repair. OK， 你有什么责任 ？OK， 受伤的，这个责任 ，OK， 加上了修理 ，OK。So when the entire property is leased, Okay, the landlord is usually not liable. 如果你一栋房子全租出去的话 ，right， 这个保险的话就跟你无关了 ，OK。When the entire property is not leased, right, the landlord is usually liable for injury and repair in the common area. 如果不是全部租出去的话 ，right， 这个屋主 ，right， 房东有责任的 ，OK， 就是公用的地方 ，right， 跟修理 ，OK， 都有他的责任去管住 ，OK。Okay, conditions and provision of the lease, right? Very important form, okay? So take careful time to read it, okay? Take time to read each of the provision or terms. Okay, 这内容你又知道 ，right？ 所有的内容你又知道 ，OK？ 这个很重要。Okay, termination of a lease 怎么去结束一个租约呢？很简单 ，expiration of the term 到期了 ，right？ 1年到期就完成了 ，right？ Lack of quiet possession. What does that mean? That means you got a noisy neighbor, right? They could say, I don't want to live here anymore because I need my sleep, right? Lack of quiet possession. 如果邻居是吵闹的话 ，right？ 他睡不着觉的话，他可以提出来，我搬走 ，OK？ 又让他搬走 ，OK？Repair for habitability, OK？ 你要修理啊。The most important thing is heat. Okay, you have to provide heat. Number 2, hot water. Okay. And number 3, it needs to be clean. Okay. 3样东西很基本的东西，你有暖气给它。OK， 热水加上呢干净。OK。This eviction or operational law. Okay. If the tenant doesn't pay you money, you could evict them. Okay. That will terminate the lease. 如果他不交房租，你可以赶他走，然后就结束这个租约了。OK，destruction of the premise. OK，what does that mean? That means it's up in flames, right? OK，or earthquake, right? 房子垮掉。So fire destroys it, or earthquake demolished it. OK，no more house, no more lease. OK， 一个火烧加上地震垮了 ，right？ 没有房子给人家住，就没有租约了。breach of condition. Either way. Hello, we'll take a quick 5-minute break. Okay.
我们正好找到一张支票，正好带一张预备。
对。
通常没带，这个今天有一张。
对，这个是你不用这个，你就把它记住 ，OK。所以你有写给这个 department 的日子 ，OK。We'll be with you guys in a minute, okay? 1 more minute.
因为有什么问题就打电话给我。
OK， 那我是看书啊，然后看 CD， 然后。
你可以你是在星期六是看那个播放的。
那我到哪里播放？哪一个网还是哪里？
对，你在 YouTube 上面就可以了。
这个温姐会告诉你。
我温姐会告诉你。
那我们会 email 给你。
OK 好。OK 好，谢谢。
拜拜。
Okay, sorry about the interruption. Let's move on. Alright, breach of conditions, right? The tenant did not obey the condo rules and regulation, right? They're not supposed to swim after 10 o'clock. They use the pool. They make, noises. They party loud, blah, 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 right? So you could give them 30-day notice. They have to move, okay? 一个房客他吵闹的话 ，right， 他不守规矩等等 ，right， 你可以把他赶走 ，OK， 给他30天的 notice，OK， surrender or abandonment， OK， sometimes the tenant they got a good job in Florida, they just move without telling you, okay, they abandon the condo, right, they surrender. 有时候呢，房客他都不告诉你，他找到一个很好的工作，在佛州就搬走了，就放弃他的房子了 ，OK， 所以也是断掉 ，right terminate 这个 lease。Expiration of term, right? So we're gonna go into each one of these, okay? That we see here, okay? 我们每一个解释一下 ，OK？ lease ends when stated in agreement or with a 30-day notice. Okay, so the expiration day, let's say, is March, okay, 31st, right? 2021. Okay, so the end of this month, right? Or in February 1st, right? Or February 28th or March 1st, you give them a notice, 30-day notice. Say, oh, by the end of this month, right, you need to move out. Okay. Lack of quiet possession. Okay. The right of both tenant and landlord to peacefully and uninterrupted use. Okay. It could be either way, right? It could be a noisy tenant or the noisy neighbor, right? Either way, right? You could get them out, okay? 这个两方的 ，right？ 租客吵闹还是他的邻居吵闹 ，OK？ 他要求搬走还是人家要求他搬走 ？Alright, repair for habitability, okay? Landlord has the responsibility to maintain the premise in a livable condition, right? Remember I told you, right? Hot water, heat, and health, right? Cleanliness, right? Tenant may give notice and fair warning to landlord and then spend up to 1 month's rent for habitability repair, okay? Maximum twice in a 12 consecutive month period. Okay, so let's say January to December. Okay, they could do it twice. Okay, up to 2 months rent can be spent on fixing the water heater, right, the heater, and the garbage disposal, let's say, okay, or the trash bins, right, okay. Abandon the premise which terminates the lease or rental agreement, Okay, if they abandon, okay, 他们放弃的话，就也是把这个结束， right， 这个租约去结束。Okay， 所以房客 right 可以花到2个月的 OK 的租金，就是12月之内 OK 这个时间段来修理，来修理什么东西啦 OK， 不是装修啊，这个油漆啊等等 right， 就是修理 OK， 热水炉 right 暖气关于垃圾这方面的东西 OK 都可以修理。如果你不管他的话，他有权利去花这个钱，不给你这个2个月的租金。Okay. Alright, so here's a list of items, right? Habitability obligation of landlord. Okay. And then that's the landlord and this is tenant. Okay. Mostly, you know, they keep it clean, right? Waterproof with the roof. Right, so it doesn't leak things, unbroken windows, so people don't get cut up, right? Plumbing, gas, maintain good working order, right? Hot, cold running water, right? Okay, heat, maintain good working order. Electrical lighting, right? I mean, you don't expect them to live in the dark, right? Building grounds kept clean, sanitary, free from accumulation of debris, filth, rubbish, garbage, and rodents. Okay, adequate number of garbage cans. Okay, floor, stairways, railing, maintain good repair. If the property is declared untenable for 35 days, the landlord can be fined $5,000 if he or she attempts to collect rent, issue a 3-day notice to quit or notice to increase rent. Okay, if the tenant could report the landlord to the health department. Okay. So they could be issued a citation and get fined $5,000. Right? If they don't keep any of these working. Okay, 所以呢，反过来的话，这个房客有保护的 ，OK。如果他没有这些东西，他可以抱怨上去，这个健康部门 ，OK， 然后他来检查，他给他35天去修理所有东西，如果他不修理的话，他罚他5000块。Okay. And then this is the tenant obligation, right? Keep things clean, right? And make sure they use the things properly, don't destroy things, etc. Okay. 这个是房客又做到了 ，right？ 都不用乱七八糟做这个事情 ，right？ 然后他用的东西就保护的东西，不能破坏东西 ，OK？ Okay, eviction or operation of law, right? The legal process of removing a tenant in breach of a lease or rental agreement. Okay, 用什么方式来赶走这个房客了 ？OK， 如果他不付房租 ，OK， if they don't pay, these are the steps, right? First step, 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. So it's an eviction notice which informs the tenant that in 3 business days, okay, 3 business days, he or she must pay or otherwise resolve the landlord's complaint or vacate the premise. Okay. So, I mean, on the first, right, you have a grace period. Sometimes you get 3 days, sometimes you get 5 days, right? So on the 5th day, right, you don't receive rent, right? So you give them a notice on the 6th. Okay, so you say the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's say 7 and 8 is Saturday and Sunday, and 9th is a holiday. Okay, so you give them 1 business day, 2 business day, 3 business day, and add 1 more day, just in case you counted wrong, right? So you give them a notice on the 6th, and say that by the 12th, right, you have to pay rent or you move out. OK， 所以第一步的话，你就给他一个叫3天之内，来3个工作天之内，来你要付我房租，还是你不付我房租，你就搬走。OK， 比如说1号，来你没可能是1号都赶人家走嘛，来看看你这个租约里面 ，OK， 你给他3天还是5天 ，OK， 这个时间去付房租。到5天的话 ，right， 你就 OK， 第6天，第5天你没有收到，第6天你就给他这个 notice 吧，当天1天 ，OK， 6、7、8、9、10、11 ，OK， 7号如果他是星期6， 8号星期天，然后星期1也是一个假日 ，OK， 所以呢，你6号、10号、11号 ，OK， 再加1天上去，可能你6号中午就给他 ，right， 所以呢，你加1天上去 ，OK， 12号，所以你说到12号 ，right， 你就付房租，不付房租你就搬走 ，OK， so this is toward the middle of the month already, right? So, okay, legal holiday and weekends do not count in the 3-day process, right? Landlords should allow 1-day grace period to avoid any problems, right? That half day, right? They didn't get it in the morning, they got it in the afternoon, right? So you add 1 more day, right? You add 1 day, okay? So Sunday, Saturday, and holiday, okay? Those days don't count, okay? So it looks something like this. Okay, 3-day notice to pay or quit, meaning move out, right? So the plaintiff is the owner, right? The landlord, and then all of the tenants, legal tenants, right? Adult tenants. So you tell them that from this day through this day, how much money that they owe you, right? Okay. You should not be lenient and do 1, 2, 3, right? You do it on the 5th day or the 6th day. Okay. You should have only 1 line. Okay. If you have more than 1 line, you're not managing it properly well. Okay. You give them time, right? And then which you hold or occupy, right? This is the address that they're living in, right? And then you tell them where to pay. Okay, person who gave the notice, the landlord signed here, and then proof that you deliver this notice to them. Okay, by person, right? By mail, or whatever, right? Okay. 所以呢，这个表格很简单，一张纸，来，这个房东的名字，来，房客所有的房客签合约的名字在里面，然后哪个月他欠你多少钱 ，OK？ So this dollar amount does not include late fee or any other fee, just the rent, just the base rent, OK？ 这个只有房租 ，OK？ 不是他晚了这个罚金等等不可以收的 ，OK？ 只有房租 ，OK？ 然后这个地址 ，OK？ 然后告诉他到哪里去付钱 ，OK？ 然后这个屋主签个字 ，OK？ 然后怎么去送这些文件给他 ，OK？ 还是你手给他的，还是你寄给他的，还是你登记邮件给他的等等 ，OK？ Okay, unlawful detainer, that's the next step. 第二步呢，就有这个 unlawful detainer. Okay, so it's a court action requiring a court appearance which asserts the charges against the tenant. If the tenant does not answer in 5 days, the next step is the writ of possession. Okay, 最好的话，他5天不回你 ，OK， 这样子的话，你马上在法庭拿一个 writ of possession 就把他赶走了 ，OK。So best if they don't answer in 5 days, that's the best thing, right? Then you get a writ of writ of possession, and then you could hire a sheriff and get them out. Okay, but if they respond, then you have big trouble, right? You have to wait to go to court, right, and see them in court, and that takes about a month because of the scheduling, right? 一个5天之内他回你，就是我们在法庭见面 ，OK， 这样子的话就拖长了时间了 ，OK， 需要好几个礼拜去登记 ，right， 去排队，然后可能是30天之后吧 ，OK。Writ of possession, a court order directing the sheriff, okay, to remove the tenant and his possession within 5 days, okay. 如果他没有回复你5天之内的话，你就去法庭拿这个 writ of possession， 就5天之内你可以赶他走。Okay. So life of an eviction process， 这个是时间段 ，OK， 3 days notice, right? Then 5 days for the unlawful detainer, and then within 5 days the writ of possession. So the quickest you could get a tenant now is 13 days. Okay. And then if you run into a holiday and a weekend, right? Okay, so you add 3, right? So that's 16 days. No matter how you look at it, right? Half a month is gone. Okay, that's the quickest. Okay, longest, half a year, 1 year, right? With the eviction moratorium, right now is running beyond that 1 year, right? From March of 2020. Okay, now they're talking the end of June. Okay, and it's 21. Okay, a year plus 3 months and running. Okay, 所以呢，疫情之下的话，right， 他不给我们赶房客嘛，right， 是3月份，去年3月份到它延期到今年的6月底了 ，OK， 也有12加3 15个月 ，OK。So the quickest is 13 days plus 3, 16 days, okay, 2 weeks, okay, that's the quickest. Alright, surrender, abandonment, okay. Sometimes the tenant, they just give up, they move out, okay. So notice of belief in abandonment, right, terminates the lease 15 to 18 days after serve, unless the lessee pays the rent or notify landlord that the premise has been abandoned. Okay, they could say, "Hey, I'm on vacation, man. I plan to, buy a new set of furniture. That's why I move everything out, right? I'm not abandoning it. Okay." So in other words, communication is the key, right? 你要跟那个房东、房客去交通啊 ，right？ 就说明我去 vacation 啊，等等，我不是搬走 ，OK？ So once you place that notice, you got 15 to 18 days, right? After that, then you come back and possess the property, OK？ 你又宣布他是放弃的话 ，right？ 你又等15到18天之后，然后呢，你就可以收房子了 ，OK？ 收房子的时候就结束他的租约 ，OK？ So you terminate the lease after 18 days of serving him the notice of belief in abandonment, okay? In this case, you couldn't find the tenant anyway, okay? Most of the time. Breach of condition, right? 它犯规里面的内容 okay? Violation of any of the condition of the lease. Like, they're not supposed to have a pet, they have a pet, okay? Or they're not supposed to, they have to abide by the HOA rules, and they don't, right? They keep the balcony cluttered with garbage, or they double park, right, in the parking area, right? Things like that, okay? Then you could get them out, okay? We have a case, during the pandemic, right? Their case is not such that they don't pay rent, right? Because they violated HOA regulations, okay? So the judge get them out, okay? Not because of not paying rent, right? Because they have violated other conditions in the lease, okay? 我们有个案子就是赶房客嘛，而不是他不付房租 ，OK？ 所以不付房租你不可以赶他走的 ，OK？ 他犯规了，社区里面他犯规了，很多东西来不停的犯规，所以呢，这个法官就赶他走了 ，OK？Both the lessee and the lessor, right? So this is the tenant and the landlord. Okay, must understand all contractual conditions and terms. OK， 他们两方有知道 ，right？ 这个租约里面的内容啊 ，right？ 很重要的 ，OK？ Destruction of the premise, okay? Major damage generally terminate the lease, right? You have a bad fire, right? Okay, or earthquake, right? Fire, earthquake, or flooding, okay? Serious flooding, okay? Major damages, right? Okay. 比较严重的 ，right？ 火烧啊，地震垮掉啊，还是淹水 ，right？ 住不了人了，这个时候你这个协议就结束了。Alright, special purpose leases, okay? Let's talk about those, okay? 就是特殊的租约 ，okay? Okay, special purpose leases, right? Designed to meet specific needs. Mostly it's about money, right? And taxes. Okay. Lease sells back, okay? Sell lease back, okay? They first sell it and then they lease back. Okay, the lease back portion, right? These are money spent, so they save on some taxes. Okay, 他卖这个房楼，然后回租，回租这个租金的部分的话，他抵掉他的赚到钱的部分，所以他付少点税，这是这个原因。为什么他先卖出去，然后租回来 ？OK， 这是保护这个税 ，right？ 少付点税 ，so they pay a little bit less of tax, okay? And then we have lease purchase option. Okay, first they try it out, right? They lease it, and if they like it, they would buy it. Okay, if they don't like it, they just go to another place, right? 这个的先租后买的选择 ，OK， 它的试用一下 ，right？ 你的周围环境好不好啊 ，right？ 邻居好不好啊，等等 ，OK？ 他满意之后，他就把它买下来了 ，OK？Ground lease, okay? 这个租地皮 okay? Long term, right? 99 years, okay? Or 50 years, okay? And then they build a structure, right? The home, okay? They lease the land, and then they build a structure on there, okay? So it's mostly for commercial, right? Because sometimes the land is too expensive, or they not sell it, they just lease it to you. Okay. Then you build your own building, right? And then you just pay the ground lease. Okay. Gradual lease is, each year it goes up. Okay. So that's gradual lease. Okay. 这个呢，这是每年它增加一部分，来经济膨胀也好等等，来它就是你的小公司越来越强大了，来你就可以多付它的租金 ，OK。Gross lease，OK，它全包了 ，OK，all everything，OK。Net lease，OK，plus triple net，right？What are you talking about? They're talking about property taxes, they talk about insurance, and they talk about maintenance. Okay? Other than your base rent, you have to pay taxes, insurance, and maintenance for the building. It's called net lease, right? Triple net lease. Okay? 这个呢，就是什么都不包的 ，OK？ 你有基本的租金，加上你又付房地产税、保险跟保养 ，OK？ 这个叫 net lease， 它三个 net， 三个东西在里面 ，OK？ 地税、保险跟保养 ，OK？Percentage lease is based on your sales volume. Okay, some retail store they make good money in Christmas time, right? So they pay more in Christmas, right? Versus the summer time, they don't have any sales, right? So it goes up and down. So percentage lease anywhere from 1% to 5% of your gross sales volume. Okay? 所以呢，圣诞节啊，他赚多点钱，他就付多点房租了，这个100%的比例 ，OK， 他有时间段的嘛，有时候 ，right， 所以这个房东也知道 ，right， 所以呢，他就做这个100%的比例的租金来收这个房租 ，OK，so these are all special type of leases, okay? Other lease property issues， 其他的问题 ，OK？ Consumer price index， okay? Typically they set it at about 3% for commercials. So if it's $100, right? Next year it will be 103. Okay, next year it will be 106 plus. Okay, each year it increased 3% to keep up with inflation. Okay, so a consumer price index CPI. Okay, CPI. So it's also called a cost of living index, right? It shows the changes in cost of living from period to period. So it keeps up with inflation. Okay. 这个经济膨胀 ，OK， 它每年增加 ，OK， 商业的话用3% OK， 每年增加3% OK， and it's also called an escalator clause, OK, because it looks like an escalator, right， 很像楼梯一样 ，OK， 这个名称叫 escalator clause， 电梯的形状 ，OK。License, okay, a personal non-ownership right to use personal property for a specific period of time. Okay, 这个酒牌啊 ，right， 这个公司的牌照啊 ，right， 都有付这个钱给这个城市。So you pay the city the license fee for your business, your liquor license, whatever license that they charge you for. Okay. Property management. Okay. Real estate license required. 如果你管理房楼的话，你也有这个牌照。Okay, property manager. A licensed real estate person who is paid to oversee the proper management and operation of rental and commercial properties, right? 公寓啊、广场啊等等 ，right? 有管理的嘛 ，right? Property manager must be familiar with rent control laws, okay? So some area they have rent control, you cannot just raise the rent, right? You have to go by the law, okay? 有些地区呢，它控制住这个房租的，你不可以随便加房租上去 ，OK， 这个有知道。Okay, so it's a good practice, right, for property manager to have a written contract with the property owner. 最好的话，你帮人家去管理的话，你有管理的协议 ，OK， 写上去 ，OK。So management contract is a must, okay, if you're gonna manage for someone. Okay, residential manager. Okay. We're gonna have a test question on this one here. Okay. Now, tenant of the property who rents units handle tenants' complaint, maintain the premise. Okay. 这是住宅 ，OK， 管理的话 ，right？ 它就是管理的房客啊 ，right？ 保养这个房楼等等 ，OK。OK， 这个是考试一个问题了 ，OK， 这个要记住 ，OK。Buildings of 16 units or more must 必须要 ，OK，have an on-site manager，OK， 这个管理员他是在这个区里面的 ，OK， 住的在里面的，一个你有16个单位以上的 ，OK，15 units you don't need it。So 16 unit, you provide a unit for them to live in, you still end up with 15 units. So you might as well get a 15 units. Okay. Try to stay below the 16 unit. But if you're into multi-unit apartments, right, then you don't care, right? Then you have 24 units, 50 units, 100 units plus, right? Okay. 5 units and up, that's commercial already, okay? 所以你有选择的话 ，right， 15个单位、16个单位，你就拿15个单位嘛 ，right， 你不需要付出去另外一个 ，right， 那个16个单位，你少一个单位，那就贵 ，right， 也有请人去待的在里面去管理 ，OK， 所以你超不过这个数值20几个单位、50个单位、100个单位的话 ，right， 小于20个单位的话，就是15个单位最好的了 ，OK。然后5个单位以上的话，这是商业性的 ，OK，commercial。Anything 5 and up is commercial, right? 16 unit, you need an on-site manager. Okay, that's the question on the test. Okay, how many units does it need if you have an on-site manager? 16 is the answer. Okay, or they could ask you, right? How many units do you need to not have an on-site manager? 15. Okay, 他问你有需要这个 manager 在里面的话16，不需要的话15以上 ，OK。Alright, minimum wage, right, and hourly laws for managers, right, have agreement, right， 这是最小的工资，这个法律等等 ，OK， 所以你又跟他们这个管理人员有一个协议了 ，OK。Apartment owners should prepare and sign a written employment agreement with each of their resident manager. Resident, right? 那住的在里面的 ，OK。Failure to comply with the state wage and hour law may be financial devastating, OK。 他用那个劳工法来告你 ，OK， 这个很糟糕的 ，OK， 这个要小心 ，OK。The California minimum wage starts at 10, now it's like $15, right? Okay. Over the next few years, so we're at that next few years, so 15块是最少了，每个钟 ，OK。And then you have overtime and stuff like that, okay? And then if employees 26 or more employees, then you will increase, right? Next few years. So be careful these numbers, okay? If you have more than, you have 20, 100 complex, blah, 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 right? You have more employees, then be careful of your minimum wage. Alright, so this ends our chapter 6. And let's go back to screen share, okay? Okay, so we finished with chapter 5, which is contracts, okay? 章子5我们讲那个协议 ，OK？ 章子6 chapter 6 we talk about landlord and tenant, OK？ 这是房东跟房客 ，OK？ 这两个章子就很好的资料给你们知道，来管理房屋的都是加上协议这部分 ，OK？ So contract and these you get a good insight into what the paperwork is involved, right? And also the landlord and the tenants, right? The relationship and what the responsibilities are, and special type of leases, okay? So for next week, 下个礼拜 we're gonna have chapter 7 and 8, okay? Chapter 8 is a long chapter, okay? So we need to speed things up, okay? This is on loans, okay? 这个是下个礼拜我们章节7跟8是一个贷款的章子 ，OK 是比较长了 ，OK 我们就快速的这样子去讲课 ，OK? So next week it will be 27. Time flies, right? And it's from 9 to 12 noon. Okay, so we finish on time today. Sorry about all the interruptions. A student came in and signed up, and then we break a little bit longer. And sorry for the interruptions. Okay, but anyhow, 很抱歉，我们今天有一个学生来报名了，签字等等的 ，OK， 耽误你们的时间 ，OK， 所以我们下个礼拜6 9点到12点 ，OK， 会讲课，这样子7跟8 ，OK， so next week on the 27th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, we'll do chapter 7 and 8. 8 is finance loans, okay, so that's a longer chapter. We need to speed things up. Alright, so we will bid goodbye and see you guys next week. Thank you.